People that ganged up against Sophia are the ones screaming the most. Right from the lounge to now, they're the ones drinking the most. Like Adeola, you're standing up to twerk. Wow, wow, wow.
Which year? Which year did I? Which year did I? Don't you ever!
Let us call a spade a spade. Caroline is doing too much. She needs to heal. Just like every other lady on the show is saying, well, to be specific, Mariam and Laura, this thing is not that deep. Like you said, it's been over 10 years ago. Why is she making herself look like a hot mess on national TV? Like, it makes no sense. It feels like the one season that Caroline spent away from the show, it feels like she went to use that one season to actually gym up and gear up to cause a lot of problem in this returning season of hers. Because it makes no sense why she is just looking for trouble where there isn't. This time you're complaining about the fact that this woman is a snake. She's here kicking with you, laughing with you, knowing fully well that she had betrayed you in the past with regards to your ex-husband and his supposed new madam. And then the next minute, you're talking about how Dabota is a terrible woman being. She's two-faced, and how she treated Sophia badly. And now she's the one, and now, Dabota is the one laughing the loudest, drinking all the drinks, eating all the food, acting all nice and pleasant and being pretentious and whatnot. Like, Mama, choose a side. And it's so crazy that she's doing the exact same thing she accused Diadem of doing in the last episode. You're saying Diadem is putting people's matter on her head, fighting Dabota's problem, fighting Dabota's issues, being Dabota's 2,500 naira bodyguard. But you're doing the exact same thing now. I just feel like this whole thing of, oh, my husband this, my husband that, you betrayed me, I messaged you on Snapchat, you this, you that. It's just a camouflage for her being angry at these two women, especially Dabota, for no reason. And the shocker of the episode, Dabota goes to disclose to Laura that they've had this conversation before. Because that's the only reasonable explanation as to why these two women will meet in a group years after, and they're cordial, like they're acting like mature women. Get to find out at all that these women have history in that regard. Like, if you cast your mind back to episode 1, season 3, they mentioned how they were both there for each other when the whole I tend to forget Laura Ikeji's sister's name. Yeah, when she was writing like spiteful blogs about them and their marriages and their children and whatnot. So the switch now from, oh, you're a snake, you betrayed me, is so crazy. Because I'm like, the Dabota we have seen since beginning of the season, she has been consistent in her behavior to a large extent. Like, I just feel like if they had not had that conversation in the past about that issue, it's not possible that Dabota will come here and be all smiley with you, all giggling with you and all that. Do you understand? I mean, it feels like I just jumped the gun and I just went right into the review. But yeah, you guys, welcome back to the channel if you're a returning subscriber. I love that you keep on coming back here. And in case you're yet to subscribe and you've been watching my videos, Abba now, we just crossed 4K. That's true. We crossed 4K subscribers. Actually, on my birthday, on the 4th of March. Yeah. 4K on the 4th. Yes, thank you so much, guys. Like, it's so crazy how I went from struggling to have 100 subscribers on this channel to having 1,000, 2,000, and now we are over 4,000 subscribers on here. I really do appreciate every single one of you. Like, there was a reason why you clicked on subscribe, even if you don't end up coming back, but there was something that prompted you to subscribe to this channel, and I really, really do appreciate that. So yeah, thank you for always coming back. Yes, you. And in case you just see my channel, hear my voice, hey, welcome. Thank you so much for seeing my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video up until this point. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely for free. Drop movie recommendations. Let me know what you're watching. What do you want me to talk about? Just let's chat in the comment section below. And yes, your take on the episode or the season so far. Let's chat in the comment section. So yes, let's get right into the tea, because I don't want this video to be too lengthy, because this is almost 10 p.m. I am very sleepy, but I want to make sure I put this video together and yeah, make sure it is out on YouTube as soon as possible. But yes, Now back to the old shebang. We saw at the beginning of the episode that Dabota calls, or Sophia calls Dabota to invite her for a Ghana trip, and Dabota was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I'd have loved to come. Oh, when is it? Hey," and Dabota was giving us this body language like she wasn't really gonna be there, she wasn't interested in being there, and all those things. And Shane, we saw how she made reference to the fact that she was gonna save Sophia's number, and Sophia was like, "Oh, that's bullcrap. This lady has my number. We've spoken on the phone before." So I don't understand why she's going on and on about the fact that she's going to save my number now. Or Sanuba. These ladies, you never can tell. Because I don't know if they've had a conversation on the phone before, after the old boat trip. Because we know that prior to the boat trip, like the beach trip rather, they've not had any sort of communication whatsoever. So it only makes sense that maybe the call that Sophia was referring to happened after the beach thing. But yeah, in Dabota's defense, on the phone, we could see that her number wasn't saved. But see, I'm exhausted talking about these women having each other's number or whatnot. In fact, I don't think you can ever understand that dynamic. But yeah, we saw how, Dabota was like, okay, she'll come around, da 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 da. And then the next episode, we see Laura and Dabota at lunch. Laura said she invited Dabota for a lunch thingy and she wants to get to know her better. Or, a lot of women might say to her that Dabota doesn't like you, Dabota doesn't like you, which I know Dabota knows why. Which I know that, Laura knows why. Probably because of her sister old thingy. But Laura, being the Laura that she's like always like to stir the sheet, stir the pot, invite Dabota, and just like expected, Dabota's like, oh, I don't really know what this lunch is about. It's quite weird to me. It's quite awkward, but they'll see how it goes. And then we see how these ladies get into it. Like Laura went straight into business and talked about how she has heard from different women that Dabota doesn't like her, yada, yada, yada. And it was so crazy to see how these women both declared hatred or dislike for each other on that table. And nobody was throwing fists. Like the way these women are fighting this season, well, aside from what Caroline pulled in this episode, their words carry more weight than their physical or like than them throwing fists or throwing a fist rather. So yeah, we saw how, Dabota was like, she doesn't understand, or where all that is coming from because really, you don't exist in my world. Your name doesn't come up like that. Your name doesn't even come up at all. You don't exist. And Laura was like, oh, I actually told them that I really don't care for Dabota. I don't care about her. I'm like, hey, this one's another level. This is the face me, I face you declaration of hatred or dislike. Love it for the both of them. But we now saw how, Dabota now brought in more context to why she feels that way towards Laura and how there's a Sylvia thing. And now, maybe Laura did something or said something about her child. And Laura was like, no. Laura was so dramatic with the whole thing of, oh, I'd never said that. I love kids, da 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 da. And, later on, Dabota had to accept in her mind that, okay, maybe Laura didn't do these things that they said she did. But I think to an extent, they had to agree to disagree. Like, okay, we don't like each other. We don't care about each other, but we're going to leave it like that. I respect you. You respect me. It is mutual. We don't need to kiki. We don't need to like each other to respect each other. And let's keep it like that. Like, okay, good. Good to know. And, Laura now decides to probe further by stirring up shit. Like, saying, oh, she knows it's a private matter, but this whole thing with Caroline has been saying a lot, Caroline has been this, Caroline has been that. I'm like, Laura, if I heard you right, you just mentioned that this matter is a private matter. So why did you think it was important or it was right for you to bring it up? Mostly when Dabota or Caroline isn't here to reiterate what she had said, it's like, why are you trying to stir up things like Laura, why? But, it was there that Dabota now mentioned that, she talked about the whole party thing, that, Dabota just came, like Caroline came after her, not knowing if, someone had invited her for the party. She didn't even know the so-called madam like that. She didn't know that the person that Caroline thinks has been chumming up to her husband as a new wife was doing that. She doesn't even know if she was invited by a man friend or someone she was dating at the time or seriously saying, like, she just came to a conclusion that, she, Dabota, had, joined forces with the new madam to dance at her home and, rejoice about the fact that, Carolyn's marriage with her husband was over and all those things. And it made sense. And Laura too was saying in her confessional that like, it is not that deep, but maybe there is more to the story and all of those things. But yeah, I think to an extent that launch was a success. I mean, both ladies are cordial now, right? So we see that the day of the event, prior to the day of the event, the boxes were delivered to the ladies, and then the day of the event came. Sophia arrived first, and I think Mariam, then Carolyn, then Laura, and Dabota and Diadem arrived together. And I liked that sort of disclaimer that Dabota threw in there when she herself and Diadem arrived together, like, oh, we arrived coincidentally at the same time, not like we came together. Because before they would say, oh, Diadem cannot breathe without Dabota. Dabota is the one that is telling Diadem when to arrive. Dabota is they have even said Diadem is Dabota's bouncer. Maybe they'll say, well, okay, she has to protect and secure Dabota into the airport. Yeah, but I like that subtle disclaimer that Dabota threw in there. And we saw that the ladies were really excited. Diadem was twerking. She did like a whole work thing into the PJ. Dabota also came in with this work. Everybody was excited except Carolyn in the corner on her phone. I'm like, okay, let's keep the ball rolling. Sophia was happy. Okay, the ladies are enjoying. I mean, I've put this thing together. I have made mouth, and it seems like everybody's enjoying the whole thing. Diadem in her confession was like, oh, she hasn't been to Ghana in 3 years or so, or in a while, and she's excited to be there. Mariam is like, oh, she has never been to Ghana before, so this is her first time. Everybody was excited. We could see it on the ladies' faces. Like when they even arrived, like they were drinking champagne from the flights, from the plane, and I'm like, exactly, this was the vibe Dabota was looking forward to with her beach. Imagine if it was just Sophia, Mariam, Laura, and what's her name? Carolyn that had to ride on the PJ alone. I get that 4 is already a crowd, so they will definitely have their fun and all of these things. But the more the merrier. That them is there twerking, Caroline is there, they are doing snaps and all of these things. Like that was the vibe that Dabota was looking forward to when she said, oh, we're gonna move together at the location or at the pickup point to the beach house together. But sadly, that wasn't communicated to Sophia, or clearly Caroline didn't see the need to communicate because Caroline she pretty much jumped on the offer that Sophia made when Sophia proposed that, oh, why don't we ride together since we are both on Banana Island, so we don't need to travel down to Lekki Phase 1 and all of those things. But yeah, the ladies were clearly having fun. They arrived at Ghana. They had this whole welcoming thing with the neck tag. I don't know what to even call it, but like they had the whole thing, like the shawl with the Ghana colors. And then they moved into the party bus. All the ladies were like, Sophia, you're doing yourself. And then they get into the party bus. They are drinking champagne again. Everybody's twerking. And then Caroline is like, oh. And then Caroline is like, despite the demons and the not so demons on this flight, she's going to enjoy it. And even when they arrived and were in the party bus, she was saying things like, oh, it's so crazy to see that the people that treated Sophia badly are the ones screaming the loudest, eating the most food, taking the most drinks. And I'm like, Mama, rest in the name of Jesus, rest. Because in fact, Diadem did not do up to what Caroline is doing right now, because Diadem did not speak badly of these people in her confessionals. She said she was mad and she maintained her stance. Her facial expression said it all, but she never spoke badly of this woman. She never trash talked them. She never cursed them out. Nothing. If not, it was Dabota that did that, right? And then in a situation whereby it felt like Dabota had moved on from the situation, Diadem still did not say anything bad about them. But like I said, and like we've established, it's hard for some people to move past certain things than the other. So Diadem could have moved past the situation, yeah, but like her facial expression was still not excited because she's been disappointed at the beginning of the trip, right? But Caroline is here, keeping to herself, acting all shady to the two women, having fun with the other women, and saying a lot of slimy, terrible things in her confessional, saying, oh, they are the loudest, they are two-faced, saying they are even pretending to have fun. Like, I don't think Dabota has ever struck us to be someone that will pretend for the comfort of other people. Like, she doesn't care too much. She doesn't care that much at all. I think Dabota has been able to establish that. So I'm just like, Caroline, what are you on about? Like, at this point, it's giving toxic. It's giving obsession. Like, move on. You were not the one that was badly treated. You were given one of the best room. Yes, your guest or your plus one was treated badly. But this person has sort of maybe moved past it. I mean, she invited them to a trip. Do you think it's cheap to take 2 extra people to Ghana? She could have saved herself the cost if she wasn't in a good place with them, or if she didn't feel the need to, right? Move on. And I'm like, you can't satisfy people. If these women had been stuck up, clinging to themselves, having fun by themselves and not, mingling with the women. You that said, oh, on top another person trip again, now they do this, now they do that. And now they are losing up, they are having fun and you're still complaining. I mean, the ladies were clearly having fun aside from Carolyn that was being really she was being too much. They were having fun. I even caught myself smiling a few times and you could tell that they were actually having so much fun on that trip. And you could tell to see the ladies, say thank you to Sophia here and then. Even when they when they got to the villa, immediately that Diadem is like, oh, she was small food. Carolyn is like, Dabota is like, I can smell food. They sat down the air. It's like, oh, you've gotten us drunk all the trip. Let's eat before we even see our room. Room is not priority now. Let's just eat. And there was something that Sophia really did that was really smart that I wish Dabota would learn from. I mentioned that room situation was unavoidable, but look at how that Sophia did her own. These rooms were not in the same places. They were not even of the same standard. Let us be sincere with ourselves. Let us tell ourselves the truth now. They were not of the same standard. Diadem's room, I don't know if you got to see Dabota's room like that, but Diadem's room is not up to Mariam or wasn't up to Mariam or Carolyn's room standard. It was bigger, it was more hairy, it was more spacious. It had more lights. Let's be sincere, except we did not on the lights in Diadem's room when we saw Diadem's room. Diadem's room was sort of narrow. It was okay, but it wasn't as wide as the other room, right? And there was nothing Sophia could have done. Those were the rooms that were available. And I liked how she strategically placed everybody, give them like an explanation, like a proper PR kind of thing, give them a story, give them a reason, buttered them up and made them feel good. Oh, Laura likes her space, she likes to be alone. Now why I put her for that place? Use balcony. I be courtyards to compensate her. Oh, Diadem and Dabota, oh, they love each other. They like each other in a corner. Diadem likes someone that she feels comfortable in a corner. That's why I put people together in this Colombo place. In this side, you put her phone. Compensated them with a pool view. Oh, these two women have threatened me from Lagos that we must stay in the same room together. That is why we're on the same floor together. And this woman had big rooms, nice room. Nobody is angry. And she took each person to their room, one after the other. So even by the time the trip ends, safe, each person's might not even get to see the other person. Like Dabota and Diadem might not even get to see Carolyn and Mariam's room like that. Because what are they looking for up and down? Do you understand? So there will not be any need to even say, oh, my room is terrible. And my room is small. Hey, so this is the room. They might be even be seeing each other's room for the first time on the show right now. That was how to maturely do things. If she had done it or she had did the room allocation like a decical, Dabota had done hers, there would have been problems. Or some people might have felt some type of way. But I like that regardless of, the rooms were really good. They looked really nice. Let's be sincere. And I liked how the women were so appreciative. Dabota kept saying, oh, this is so nice. Thank you so much. This is so sweet. I really like it. All of this. And I know they kept saying, thank you. You could see that Diadem was really, really excited. Laura was satisfied with where she was placed. Mariam was excited for where she was placed. She was like, oh, everybody was placed according to where they needed to be. And there was peace. Sophia is such a smart woman. Let's give it to her. And meanwhile, whilst, Sophia was showing everybody their room, taking the women around, we saw that, Carolyn has dragged Mariam by the corner and started saying a lot of nonsense to her, saying, oh, I don't want to be disrespected. She started telling her the story of how, Dabota betrayed her with her ex-husband, mistress, and all of those things. I'm like, hey, God. And even though Mariam was still contributing, I was like, oh, I didn't know people had that deep issues. Oh, But, if she comes at you disrespectfully, you can as well just return it back. But, Mariam's confession, she's like, oh, we just arrived. Though. This is fair. Nobody should spoil it for me and all these things. But, at this point, Carolyn's toxicity is beginning to spread out to other people, and it's not needed. It is really not needed on this street. But yeah, I'm exhausted even talking about her. So I liked how Mariam entertained her a bit, but Mariam didn't say too much, but she said some things. But yeah, let's leave it at that. I know even when she was still talking about everything, she was talking to Mariam and all these things. Mariam was like, in her conversation, it's not this deep. I don't understand why it's this deep, but clearly it's deep for her because she's talking from a place of hurt. And maybe there is more to it than what we know about, but she didn't know that they had these deep-rooted issues in the past or something of that sort. But yeah, moving away from that, we saw that later at night, the ladies had gathered. Sophia arrived first, and then Dabota arrived as well. And she's like, oh, she's looking forward to having a conversation with Dabota. They've not had time to have a one-on-one since the beach thingy. I know they sat down to speak, and I'm like, what are the odds that Dabota happens to be the first person to arrive when you've actually been looking forward to having a convo with her? Cast your mind to the fact that you know, after the old outrage between Dabota and Caroline, the way the women started arriving, like they were arriving one after the other, like one after the other, like the producer had told them to be on standby, let that whole thing happen, play out before they come in. I'm just saying. But we see that, they had like a sit down, Dabota and Sophia, Dabota was like, oh, this place is so serene, it's so peaceful, I like it, so beautiful, and all of this. And the way Sophia chipped in, the owner of the place, like, oh, the place is so beautiful, as the owner, Edwina, right? I'm like, oh, that's so clever. See, adverts, girl. But yeah, they started talking, and they started to bring up the old bitch thing. And in fact, if I said I should go deep into the whole conversation that both ladies had, I'll be more exhausted than I am right now. And I don't even think we need that. If you've seen the series, you already know how that played out. But really, I said it before I begin that she does not want to say sorry, even to her close friends. So I wasn't even expecting her to utter sorry during that conversation with Sophia, because Sophia really deserved a sorry. If you like, especially when you just oppose how you've been treated by Sophia and how you treated her, like, you should know that she deserves her heartfelt, genuine sorry, apology. Even make it up to her, like, oh, let's have lunch when we get to Lagos. Let me invite you over to my place. Da, 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 da. Like, just make it up to her in your kindest way. But Dabota was still maintaining her stance, saying she acted that way towards Sophia because she had a reason to act towards Sophia that way. Sophia thinks she didn't have a reason. Da, 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 da. I'm like, oh my goodness. It just felt like Sophia was talking to a wall. It kept bouncing back. She kept having a reason. She kept having something to counter her. But yeah, I liked how Sophia was like, okay, we're going to agree to disagree on this one, because clearly we're not making headways, and that's so sad. But like, hopefully, like, gladly, they're on a good page. Even though it's not well high on that, but like, there's peace in the land in that regard. And then we see that, Carolyn arrives and she's really not saying anything. She's like, oh, she wish somebody else was here that had sense, that so she can be talking to when, Sophia's talking to the snake. And you saw how Sophia tried to like call the Caroline into conversation, like, oh, you didn't say hello and all those things. But I wish that Sophia had left Caroline when she said, oh, I don't want to talk about this. Like, people have said this is a private thing. You didn't even know this issue happened. Like, if it had happened in front of you, well, hold on. If I hold my tracks now, Caroline brought it up in the group, so she didn't really make it a private issue anymore. Yeah, but she brought it up in the group, and we expected that since they kicked it on the table and did the little kumbaya thing, it was over. But like Dabota said, all the body languages from Caroline afterwards, it was just giving toxic, it was giving irritated and whatnot. So yeah, but like, I wish Sophia had backed up when Caroline was like, oh, stop it, I don't want to talk, it's not compulsory I talk, I really don't want to entertain this, I'm not invested. I know Caroline Dabota started saying some things and talking about the situation, and the next thing that Caroline goes ahead to call Dabota a snake. Caroline's like, don't call me a snake. And it was so crazy out of nowhere that Caroline felt like it was okay for her to stand up from her seat and go poke Dabota in the face, in the nose. I thought you're going to walk like, ow. People can fight, you can argue, you can insult each other with verbal words, but when you start going physical, that's so classless, it's so tacky, it's so tasteless. You don't move like that. There's no coming back from that. Like, why? You can't. We saw that, the tapes were cut out at some point when she, she turned the table upside down. It wasn't needed. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm even going to stop here. Like, what do you guys think? That whole thing wasn't needed at all. It wasn't needed. And mostly what Dabota said was like, Caroline is comfortable having this conversation with every other person aside from her. So if she feels like there's no need to bring it to me, I'm not going to address it. But I wish Caroline had handled this situation better. Like, maybe she's still hung up on the situation. Maybe she needs therapy. Maybe she needs to heal. Maybe saying Caroline is like Dabota is like a trigger to her. But it's just crazy. Like, you went to this girl's house. You complained that she served you food. You felt some type of way. You saw a friend. You didn't feel safe. You felt uncomfortable. And you still went ahead to eat the food. Did they shove the food down your throat? If you said, oh, sorry, I'm fasting. Oh, sorry, I don't feel like eating. Oh, can I get like a takeout? Oh, no, I'm actually not hungry. Oh, I just left an event. Like, just say something to make yourself feel comfortable. Knowing fully well that you feel threatened in these premises. You don't trust these two women that are serving you food, right? And according to Dabota, she even hugged a he. So what are you on about, Caroline? Like, what are you on about? Abi, is this scripted? You guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Do you think Caroline is doing too much? Do you think Dabota is acting oblivious to the situation? Because cast your mind back to the fact that she said they have had this conversation before and they have ironed things out. So the way Caroline is bringing up this situation back to back just seemed very crazy and unexpected to her. Let me know. And we saw that in the next episode, she's going to be coming at Diadem. Like, if you're having issues with Dabota, because clearly that's the person you're having issues with, directly now. Speak to her directly. Why are you bringing Diadem into it? But clearly, she has something against Diadem as well. And she probably saw an opportunity to bring Diadem into the mix. And Diadem is like, avoid me. But we'll talk about that in the next episode when we see episode 10. But I really hope that they allow themselves to have fun. Carolyn clearly is the one running this Ghana trip. Let's have it on record. But let me know what you thought in the comments section. Please like the video if you're here to like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you're here to subscribe. I'll also see my next video and in the comment section. But for now, make sure to remain happy because you're with yourself. Bye, guys.